There is a room dedicated to sewing at Zen Center. Every person being ordained at any level hand sews a robe. This is Tim Wicks, our San Francisco sewing teacher. The robe that I was sewing is called a rakusu. You can see Tim wearing his. Obviously, it is not a full-length robe. It only covers part of your chest and stomach. This is Blanche Hartman, the head of the sewing room. I think she is the most senior person at Zen Center. She was once the abbot. Here she is working on my rakusu, and I'm very happy to have some of her stitches in it. Blanche is a person of great depth. She is also very kind. On the day I left San Francisco, she hugged me tightly. The small altar you see is used ceremonially at the start and end of every sewing session. Sewing is very much a part of Zen meditation practice. For most of the time we were sewing in San Francisco, it was Tim who was our sewing teacher. Dave Packer and Blanche Hartman came later in the week. Tim is a wonderful teacher, and not just for sewing instruction. In fact, I think he is a natural-born teacher. He never lost his patience and was always willing to help. Here he is helping Corliss and Tom. Here I am on the left with Chris to the right. This is Dave Packer, our New Jersey sewing teacher. We were very fortunate to have Dave as teacher and friend. He and his wife Barbara opened their home up to us many weekends from June to September so that we could sew. Dave sent us to San Francisco with a huge head start. He's the one who taught us what the rakusu means. He and Barbara even flew out to San Francisco to help and support us. After we finished sewing our rakusus, there was a ceremony. It is Blanche Hartman you see at the altar, assisted by Tim Wicks. The color shots of the rakusu ceremony were taken by Kathy Chong, Corley's wife. The black and white photos were taken by Brian Unger with my camera. Brian is the priest of our local Sangha in Monmouth County. He is the one who arranged for us to participate in the Jukai ceremony, and we owe him many thanks. This is Tom at the altar. Here is Corliss taking some incense to offer. Corliss is holding his completed rakusu in his hands. And now it is my turn to offer incense and my completed rakusu. You take a pinch of the incense, bring it to your forehead, and then place it on the burning ember. When the smoke from the incense is rising, you hold your rakusu over it and move it 3 times around in a clockwise circle. This is Chris Hargrove, part of our New Jersey group. At the end of this ceremony, our rakusus were given to our priest, Brian Unger. Brian, in turn, would give them to our teacher, Michael Wenger. Michael chooses a Buddhist name for each of us and writes that, along with some other things, on the silk that we sewed onto the backside of the rakusu. And that is what is presented to us as the finished rakusu at our Jukai ceremony. We did these prostrations at the end of the rakusu ceremony. There were 14 of us that received the precepts at our Jukai ceremony. 4 of us from New Jersey and 10 from San Francisco. You can see my name at the bottom of the alphabetized list. The 4 teachers that will be giving the precepts to us will be seated behind this table. Perhaps in the Anglican or Roman Church they would be like bishops. Each of them has received what is called Dharma transmission. And here we are at our Jukai ceremony. Michael Wenger, the man on the right, is my teacher. He is one of the 4 teachers I mentioned earlier that would be seated behind the table. And here is the moment I received my Rokusu and my new Buddhist name, Jukai, which means clear ocean, open way. Here is Tom receiving his. You can see Chris standing on the left, he's next. You can also see Brian Unger seated in between Tom and Chris. There was a lot to remember for this ceremony. Now it is Chris's turn. After receiving the Rokusu, we placed it over our heads and chanted the robe chant. And after that, we were able to wear it for the first time. We were then sprinkled with water by one of the 4 teachers, Vicky Austin. Next, we received our Buddhist identity papers. This shows my direct line of spiritual descent all the way back to the Buddha. My Buddhist name is on the bottom, Michael's above it, and then every teacher before him, through Japan, China, and India. The document has Michael's chop on the bottom, certifying its authenticity. This is immediately after the Jukai ceremony. Each of us is wearing his Rokusu. In the back row from left to right is Tom Gartland, Corliss Chong, and Brian Unger. In the front row left to right is Chris Hargrove, me, and Dave Packer. And finally, the same group again, but this time with Michael Wenger on the right. Michael is a wonderful teacher and a magnificent human being. It was my honor and pleasure to be associated with everyone you see in this picture.